American Russell and Dual Threat Level Midnight. The new models are in, and they're built for speed. He's the baddest man in Baltimore.
Not bad for a running back.
And he is the Hellraiser in Houston.
I just do what I do. I've been winning ever since I came in this league.
When the rubber hits the road, there's bound to be friction.
It's going to be a science.
They live their lives one touchdown at a time. This Sunday, don't miss the film the critics are calling the #1 speed-based, live-action, football-centric thrill ride of the fall. Buckle up, park on your couch, and get ready for Too Fast, Too Curious.
Yes. Punch it, Toretto!
It's amazing.
There it is right there.
Oh, yeah.
So the world premiere. I got to get tickets to that.
Good Morning Football production staff put on a gem.
Shout out to Ziplo.
That trailer alone is better than Tokyo Drift. I mean, already I'd rank it above it right now. But way above it.
Shout out to those editors. Great stuff.
So good. Lamar plays Deshaun in this game, and obviously it's a huge one in the NFL, but did you guys know they played each other before in 2016 in a college game? Let's go. October 1st, 2016, Louisville goes to Jackson. We got college highlights. Let's take you back. All right, that's Lamar Jackson in for Louisville, the #3 team in the country, 4-0, going up against Deshaun Watson. The arrow.
Oh, wow.
There we go. Two guys who were two of the most popular players in the sport this season. Third quarter, Lamar. Nope, I'm taking it. I'm going. I'm running with it. Touchdown. It's the same stuff you're seeing him do with the Ravens this year. Clemson up, but Lamar Jackson brings it to 36-28. Here we go. 40 seconds. Here we go. Another move by Lamar. He's racing to the end zone. Touchdown. They're coming all the way back. They were down 18 points in this one. Came up, but then Deshaun Watson leads his team back. Fakes it to Wayne Gallman and finds who? Mike Williams for a play. Then Deshaun rolls right, looking. Jordan Leggett played in the NFL for quite a bit. He gets in. Clemson would go on to win this one in a thriller, one of the greatest games of that season.
This is awesome.
42-36. Look at the numbers.
Look at Lamar
ran for 162, but look at Deshaun's passing numbers. All this was significant because a few months later, we know that Deshaun Wiseman would go on and defeat Alabama in the national championship game. Only a few weeks after Lamar Jackson would be hoisting a Heisman Trophy. They play again on Sunday. Let's hear what Deshaun Watson has to say about the matchup with his former rival, Lamar Jackson.
I'm a proud quarterback, proud friend. All the criticism he was getting when he was coming out. He's definitely a guy that I've always encouraged and, talked to in the offseason. And, always been since, college days, when we played against each other, I've always been friends with him. So he's a guy that's been, doing what everything that all the naysayers have, said that he couldn't do, and even more. So, his career is very, very bright, and he's going to continue to do great things.
Nate, I'm looking at the highlight. It's all Lamar running. After that game, weren't all the scouts like, what are we going to make of him in the pros? Is he going to make it as a franchise quarterback? Here we are, he can't lose. Unbelievable.
The fact that these guys are facing each other, and Schrager, you said it over the last couple of weeks, this could be the future of the league. And Deshaun Watson is a little bit different in the sense that he has like a pure #1 wide receiver in DeAndre Hopkins. And I love the fact that even though Lamar doesn't have that yet, Marquise Brown is good.
He's coming.
He's coming. He's coming. This is going to be a great matchup. Can't
wait. Lamar Jackson on pace for 1,248 rushing yards, on pace to pretty much shatter Vic's NFL record of 1,039. That is a matchup, just one of the many on a Sunday that we'll get you set for right here on GMFB. And we have a guest, a huge one coming. No! Surf for ski, baby. The Kush. Jerry O'Connell joining Good Morning Football.
What a feast. Spiced ham, carb turkey, prime rib on the weekends at a price that lets me treat the whole family. Doesn't get more festive than that. Or does it?
Prime rib weekends at Golden Corral. The only one for everyone.
So you think this chip is nothing to worry about? Well, at Safelite, we know sooner or later, every chip will crack. These friends were on a trip when their windshield got chipped. So they scheduled at Safelite.com. They didn't have to change their plans or worry about a thing. I'll see you in a little bit. And I fixed it right away with a strong repair they can trust. Plus, with most insurance, a Safelite repair is no cost to you. Really? Being there whenever you need us, that's another Safelite advantage.
Safelite repair, Safelite replace.
You're finally doing it. Chasing your dreams and following your heart to a new beginning. At Amica, we believe in life's extraordinary experiences. So much so that we built a company around it. With every phone call, every quote, every claim, we are an insurance company that delivers an experience that meets the only standards higher than ours. Yours. Experience Amica. Auto, home, and life insurance.
We're reporters from the New York Times. This melting pot of impacted species everywhere is going to get touched by climate change.
Sure, a resume is a great way to see someone's experience, but you're not hiring a resume, you're hiring a person. That's why Indeed offers tools that help bridge the gap between a candidate and their resume. Like skill tests, which let you actually see a candidate's abilities in action to make sure they're a good fit for the job. It's no wonder Indeed delivers 3 times more hires than any other job site. See beyond the resume with Indeed. Get a free sponsored job upgrade on your first posting at Indeed.com/offer.
Celebrate the NFL's 100th anniversary with the classics.
Clement reverses it, and it is a touchdown by Nick Foles!
Relive the Super Bowl that saw Philadelphia bring home their first Lombardi trophy. NFL 100 Classics, tomorrow at 8 on NFL Network.
Welcome to a journey revealing the NFL 100 all-time team.
He's off for the races!
100 unbelievable players.
Galloping Gale.
He's got to be on that board. He's got to be.
The best of the best.
Welcome to Good Morning Football. We are presented by Intuit QuickBooks. We're live in New York City on this Friday, November 15th. My name's Kay Adams. We've got Kyle Brandt and Peter Schrager and Nate Burleson. This is our show getting you set, of course, for Week 11, which kicked off last night with the Steelers and the Browns in Cleveland.
Okay, you're not wrong. Let's get to the game. We will have all the Myles Garrett talk coming up, but first, the football. Baker Mayfield, look of intensity. Why? Maybe the Browns have not beaten the Steelers in 3 years. They got to have it, home national TV, and maybe this would help a little bit. Odell Beckham Jr. over the middle, you're going to see him catch it. Now, you remember in the offseason, Mike Tomlin was asked, you're going to have to deal with Odell twice a year now. That's kind of a big challenge for you in the Steelers. Mike, how are you going to deal with that?
Like, for instance, Odell Beckham twice a week or twice a year, you're going to have to figure out what to do with him, right?
All right, so it's pretty funny. And look what Odell's doing after the catch. Big old grizzly bear yawn, and there's more. Look at this. He's too into it. Remember we debated yesterday who has a bigger personality, Tomlin or Kitchens? Tomlin had a lot last night. And after Odell was called down short, they give it to Baker. Baker scores the rushing touchdown, just like he did against Oklahoma State when Mason Rudolph was there and they played. Fired up. Great night for Cleveland at this point in the game. Second quarter, 7-0. Goal line issues. They ran 26 plays inside the one last week. Look at Jarvis. Jarvis, what do you got to say? Jarvis, you just go. They have this thing ready, Nate.
I like that. I like that celebration.
I did too. And Baker was doing a lot of celebrations. Tomlin, tough night. The offense just could not get going. Penalties, incompletions, 0 third downs, and then just bad, ugly injuries. James Conner had to leave the game again. And then in the second quarter, Mason's going to go to Juju over the middle and just get sandwiched. There looks to be 3 different defenders there. Greedy Williams was there. Morgan Burnett, he's down. There's some helmet to helmet. And we hate it. Juju left the game. And Juju was playing well. He's one of our favorite players in the league. He leaves. Concussion. Mason Rudolph now with the ball again. Down 14-0. Third quarter. You got anything? You're going to get it going? Yes, he does. Jalen Samuels was going to walk in, 3-yard touchdown. Browns 4 penalties on that drive alone really helped extend it. Freddie can't believe it. Remember week 1, how many penalties they had? Come a long way, sort of. Fourth quarter, though. Mason Rudolph trying again. Over the middle. What do you got, Mason? You got an interception. Joe Schobert returns it 20 yards inside the 10. almost houses this thing, but Mason Rudolph makes the tackle. He stays down and takes a minute. 3 plays later, it's 3rd and goal. Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry. Who does Baker Mayfield look for? Steven Carlson. Guys, I preempted the catch. I don't even care. Undrafted out of Princeton. He was a receiver. He had gained 20 pounds, moved to tight end. His wide receivers coach in college calls him one of the goon boys. His head coach, Bob Sorace at Princeton, said this morning, your standard, quiet, high-effort, upstate New York Princeton guy making plays in the league. We love you, Stephen Carlson. Great job.
Quiet, upstate New York guy.
Making plays in the league. But meanwhile, this thing got ugly. We're going to shift gears dramatically. You might have seen it by now. That's Myles Garrett, who took Mason Rudolph's helmet and hit him in the head with it. Marquise Pouncey is mixing it up. We're going to get a bunch of different looks at this. So let's take it right from the beginning of the play. Rudolph gets rid of the ball. Garrett takes him down left side of your screen. Takes him down late. There's shoving. There's helmet grabbing. There's jawing. And now watch this. Garrett's helmet almost comes off. Then he scoops up Mason by the helmet, rips it clean off, and you think maybe it's under control. We've seen helmets come on before, but I'm not sure we've ever seen this. He hits Mason Rudolph directly in the head as Marquise Pouncey defends him, kicks, punches. This next angle is the toughest. Guys, this is what happened. We'll show it to you. There's the helmet. There's Mason Rudolph. Now, I should say, Rudolph said immediately after the game he feels fine. He has no issues. He is healthy and okay. He was not injured by this. But it was a really, really bad moment as the two coaches confer. Garrett was ejected as well as a couple others. Suspension forthcoming. He said after the game he let his team down. He had a bad moment, etc. A bunch of cliches. We haven't gotten into really what happened that led to that. But the Browns did win the game to stay alive in the AFC playoff hunt, 21-7. And after the game, Erin Andrews was with Baker Mayfield, who did not answer her questions like you might expect.
I didn't see why it started, but it's inexcusable. I don't care, rivalry or not. We can't do that. That's kind of the history of what's been going on here lately, hurting yourself, and that's just endangering the other team. It's inexcusable. He knows that. I hope he does now. It's tough. We'll see.
Mason Rudolph, a friend of yours, Myles Garrett, a teammate of yours. What were you saying to your teammates over there to kind of calm everybody down?
I don't think there's anything in that moment that I can really say to calm him down. You know what? The reality is he's going to get suspended. We don't know how long, and that hurts our team. And we can't do that. We can't continue to hurt this team. It's inexcusable.
We've got 5 seconds to go in the game. The biggest game that this team's won in a never beat Baltimore and Pittsburgh in the same year since they've been in 1999. And then we've got to talk about this. So there's 52 other guys in that team, on the team, that hurt, and it's going to hurt moving forward. So we don't condone that, and it's not going to. Myles understands what he did wrong. All right, he's got to maintain his composure.
You're right, Freddie. Nobody's talking about anybody else on the Browns right now. This is the story, and it's an unfortunate end to that game. Ian Rappaport joining us now this morning. What can you tell us about the repercussions for what transpired last night?
Well, Baker Mayfield, who said in his on-field interview with Erin Andrews that Myles Garrett is going to be suspended, sounds like Baker is going to end up being right. My understanding is the NFL is reviewing Myles Garrett's actions for a possible suspension, likely a multi-game suspension for Myles Garrett for taking the helmet off of Mason Rudolph, hitting him with it, and everything else that we have seen on this video. And when we look at past events, similar events where a player has been suspended for on-field actions, usually those come the morning after the game, so we should have some news from the NFL earlier today. And obviously, there's some other actions of some other players that are being reviewed, but clearly Myles Garrett is the one to consider. And if you want to know some past incidents that may have some reason for comparison, Albert Hainsworth, who stomped on Andre Giroud's head, ended up getting suspended 5 games. That is the only comparable one that comes to mind. Wouldn't be surprised if Myles Garrett ends up getting suspended a similar time frame or maybe even more. And by the way, Kate, there were some interesting comments from Mason Rudolph's agent, Tim Younger, who essentially said this is not a risk a quarterback should take, having a defensive end take your helmet off and hit him with it. He said it could have had a catastrophic ending, and the matter will be reviewed thoroughly. This is the tweet right here, hinting at potential legal action for Myles Garrett based on what he did last night.
Appreciate the update. Thank you so much. Ian, sorry we're not talking about something a little more optimistic this morning. Appreciate you. And we'll talk to you in a bit. Hated to see this. It's hard for me to see that there's different ways of thinking about this on Twitter. There's people defending certain people and certain parties. It seemed pretty cut and dry at the end of that game. We know there was just weirdness throughout the whole game, right? This is a rivalry. This is a game. Brett Kiesel told me last night on Amazon Prime that this is the one game that they bust to. It's very close quarters. They all are in each other's faces. It's real, and it always has been. You had two players leave. Deontay and Juju both get knocked out of this one. So all of that sort of led up to this. But what did you see went down in those minutes? And include Marquise Pouncey, who's probably also going to face some discipline.
Yeah, there shouldn't be any defending either side. It's a fight that breaks out in a football game. This isn't hockey where we get clearance to beat each other up if we're feeling some type of way. I get that it's a rivalry. I get that emotions run high. I understand personally and seen it in games and at practice. Guys can literally black out, lose their cool, and afterwards look at themselves like, oh, my bad, I didn't even know that happened. I'll give you a personal story. Early in my career, playing for the Vikings, we're playing against the Bears at home, a chippy game, right? It's the Vikings versus the Bears. A late hit comes. I jump in. I'm pushing and shoving. I get a fine in my locker the next day, and I'm like, well, I didn't think it was that bad. I go watch the film, and I'm swinging at guys' helmets. You guys know me. I'm more of a lover than I am a fighter. And I remember sitting there in that meeting room thinking to myself, I don't even remember doing that. This is not me making an excuse for Myles Garrett. I think people misunderstood my words early in the show. I'm not defending him. I'm not defending any fight in football. I don't laugh at it. I don't think it's cool. I think it's the dumbest thing ever to wrap your fist up and swing at another man's helmet, which means you can break your hand or take somebody's helmet off and attempt to swing it at another man's head. It's all wrong. But I do feel like this could have ended early. Myles Garrett could have dropped the helmet. Somebody could have grabbed him. A big man could have grabbed him and said, bro, you tripping? And I feel like Mason Rudolph, if you get your helmet snatched off, you're a quarterback. One, protect yourself because you're a QB. Two, your helmet's off. Get out of there.
Could have also ended differently if he connects with Mason Rudolph. We're not having Jerry O'Connell on the show in 10 minutes.
No, I got to cancel that.
You got to cancel that.
Yeah.
So I look at this and say, you say it happens, and say, like, Nate, respectfully, I've been on the sidelines. I've never seen that, though. Like, take another man's helmet. So the outrage and the disgust, it's not just from Twitter. It's not just, you could hear it in the Browns guys talking. Like, Freddie, I'm talking about Freddie. I'm talking about Baker. Baker comes out in an interview, and kudos to Baker and the Browns PR staff for letting Baker speak to Aaron Andrews minutes after this without a filtered, here's what our message is going to be. Baker says it's inexcusable. He's going to be suspended, and that's that. So I think even the Browns guys are disappointed here. What I said earlier in the show, I'll reiterate. You can't change what happened last night. And fortunately, God willing, thank you that he didn't connect with that helmet. But what he can do, Myles Garrett, is be very forthcoming, be very vocal, stand up to the media, stand up to the cameras, and stand up to America and say, that's not me, and I'm going to do everything in my power to ensure the youths watching this game never do anything like that, and I will never do that again. I think there's a great opportunity for redemption already just hours after that play.
The reason I said you might be surprised by what Baker said is there was no apologist in him. There was no, you got caught up in the moment. And what I read on Baker's face was just huge disappointment. Not only because it ruined a great night, they probably just lost their best player on their team as they're trying to make a wild card run. And I think Baker knew that. I will say I think it's very fascinating, the third man in factor, which is the Marquise Pouncey. And if you saw the play after it went down and Garrett goes down, Pouncey just comes and starts throwing punches and kicks.
Right.
He's going to get suspended, and he should, because you just can't have guys kicking people. But I have no problem whatsoever with Marquise Pouncey did.
Guess what? He doesn't either. After the game, he said that he doesn't care if he'll get suspended. He went into protection mode. He said that, quote, it was bigger than football at that moment. My man got hit in the head with a helmet. He said, I know it's coming. I went into protection mode over my guy. I don't see many Browns out there in this shot right here.
And it's not that he needed it, but, like, I think Marquise Pouncey got huge respect in the Steelers' locker room after that thing. Listen, you attack the quarterback in a very physical, violent way, you got to stand up for him. Now, sure, he went over the line, but I'm not going to sit here and say, how could you possibly do that? 100%. I understand the gladiator mentality, what happened to his quarterback, and he went after him. I can't sit here and say Marquise Pouncey shouldn't have done it. I can't.
I agree 100%. And I feel like the peers in the NFL, players, are looking at Pouncey, understanding exactly what he did.
What do you say that he should have shown more composure?
Yeah.
Should he have shown more composure? Like, Pouncey.
No,
because Garrett didn't, and neither did Pouncey.
No,
I think that one comes before the other.
No, I didn't say that Pouncey should show more composure.
I know.
Oh, no, you're asking me. No, listen, I've been a guy that has jumped in and fought for my quarterback. I hate to be the individual that says this happens. And I know, Straight, you said you've been on the sideline, you haven't seen it happen.
Yeah, I haven't.
I've been in practices and seen this happen time and time again. And I've been the young, frisky wide receiver saying, what, you hit my quarterback? I'm going to fight for you. And I throw myself right in the mix of it. I understand what Pouncey did.
Okay.
I am not and will not defend what Myles Garrett did. I feel like there's no place in the game for anything. Pushing and shoving, talking trash, cool. The moment you ball your fist up in a football game, it's an idiotic move from there. Nothing good can happen.
You've ever seen this, though?
How about on the street?
Yes, Strager, unfortunately, I've
seen the helmet used as a weapon?
I've seen the helmet used, unfortunately.
And connect?
And miss.
Right.
And the first thing we do as vets on the team is, you're out of your mind. What are you doing? And even when a fight goes at practice, just like Pouncey. Pouncey's trying to defend his quarterback. But what if Pouncey connects and breaks his hand? Now that's another guy injured for that team. I just look at it as all bad.
None of it warranted, no matter what happened on the field leading up to
Terrible
all of that.
moment.
More on this, of course, the repercussions, the consequences right here on NFL Network all day long. And up next, let's preview the slate for Sunday.
Why don't we?
11 is underway. Kirk Cousins, can he keep his hot streak going and prove the Vikings are the real deal?
You like that. He tried to patent that. Didn't get it.
You didn't get it?
No.
What do you mean?
I think he was turned down under something. I don't know.
And the Chiefs, you think he'd be able to buy that?
I
It's
would
a
think.
small island somewhere. The Chiefs are looking to rebound from a heartbreaking loss. We've got more next.
Each year, Americans waste $21 billion by overpaying on car insurance. That's why I went to thezebra.com. Because while every company claims to save you money on car insurance, the Zebra shows you who actually can.
Compare car insurance for free. Compare car insurance for free at thezebra.com today.
Bombas socks are the most comfortable holiday gift.
Compare car insurance for free at thezebra.com today.
Bombas socks are the most comfortable holiday gifts.
Save me a bite. Save me a bite.
For the most uncomfortable holiday moments. Give everyone Bombas this holiday season and make everyone comfortable.
We got one of those new purple mattresses, and it is amazing. You have to try it.
Oh, this doesn't feel like memory foam. No. This feels amazing.
Right?
What is it?
Actually, it's called Purple, and it's a completely unique comfort technology, meticulously designed to cradle and support the human body.
Cool.
It's Purple's biggest, comfiest Black Friday sale ever. Save up to $400 when you pair a Purple mattress with a premium sleep bundle.
I got this mountain bike for only $11.
DealDash.com, the fair and honest bidding site. An iPad worth $505 was sold for less than $24, a PlayStation 4 for less than $16, and a Schultz 4K television for less than $2.
I won these Bluetooth headphones for $20.
I got these 3 suitcases for less than $40.
And shipping is always free.
Go to DealDash.com right now and see how much you can save.
Aha! Myth or fact? Eating carrots will improve your eyesight.
Oh, myth.
That is correct.
All right. Myth or fact? Checking your credit score will lower it.
Oh, fact.
Myth. Says who? Says Credit Sesame. Checking your credit score at Credit Sesame won't lower your score, so you can check it as much as you want to watch it grow. So, whose turn? Guys? Guys. Get started at creditsesame.com.
Tonight on NFL Total Access, Thursday madness, Sunday matchups. Why the key to the Texans and Ravens isn't Deshaun and Lamar. Plus, we're live with the Cowboys and the Eagles. Tonight, 7 Eastern.
Get ready for the weekend.
Let's go, baby!
Every Saturday morning, tune into NFL Network for the latest news with a little swagger.
He has the ability to carry this offense.
Touchdown!
The weekend begins tomorrow at 9, only on NFL Network.
Hey, Jets, Thursday's coming. You might as well start booing yourselves now.
Thursday night?
Barry's Cowboy.
Yeah. Thursday night?
Mahomes.
One-hit wonder. All day.
Thursday night?
The Buccaneers sail to Carolina to wreak havoc. Thursday, New York reminds New England who's boss.
Can you count to 6? Even New Yorkers can do that.
We've got way too much sauce for y'all.
Hey, Green Bay, Philly's coming for that cheddar.
Sorry, Philly, this is a no-fly zone.
No rings.
Thursday night.
The Mod Squad versus
The 12th man.
Juju. Juju.
deal.
Thursday,
America's team
versus America's worst nightmare.
The 49ers are back, baby!
rise up, let's see the catch.
Watch my Eagles fly!
Well, welcome back to Good Morning Football. We'll solve it inside the NFL Network newsroom. Glad you're with us on this Friday morning. Well, the incident that occurred at the end of the Thursday night game between the Steelers and Browns overshadowed the result. The Browns won 21-7, but it's secondary to what everyone is talking about this morning. Quarterback Mason Rudolph and defensive end Myles Garrett tussling at the end of the play. Rudolph provoking Garrett, and Garrett then ripping off Rudolph's helmet, and he hit him over the head with it. A surreal scene, to say the least. Players from both sides weighing in on what exactly happened in the waning moments of the game.
At the end of the day, once again, we're brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if the shoe was on the other foot, I feel like they would be the same way. You know what I'm saying? You see somebody who's jumping on your teammate, who's kicking your teammate, they would do the same, you know what I'm saying, quarterback or not. When you start kicking people, when you start ripping off helmets, when you start putting people's head in the ground, like you're a player.
I know there's scuffles in the game. Tensions fly high, but for it to get to a point where a guy to use a helmet as a weapon and hit a guy in the head, uncalled for, I'm all about being competitive, but that had to be one of the stupidest things I ever saw.
Strong words there. Meanwhile, Steelers running back James Conner attempting to return from a shoulder injury that cost him the past 2 games, but had to leave the game due to the injury. Conner carried the ball just 5 times for 10 yards before leaving with shoulder discomfort. Well, the Browns making a roster move before the game last night as they released wide receiver Antonio Callaway. The second-year wide receiver was suspended for the first 4 games this season and played in just 20 games during his time in Cleveland, tallying 51 catches for 675 yards and 5 touchdowns. He was a healthy scratch against the Bills, and thus he was, because he was tardy to the game. And Kitchens had said that he didn't quite get the message or didn't know if he did or he didn't. But either way, Callaway is no longer with the Browns.
A lot of things going on in Cleveland that are a bad look. We're going to dig into all of that a little bit later in the show. More highlights from last night, of course. Thank you so much, Will. Time to talk about brighter things. When things get bright, you put on your shades. Time to shine a little bit of light on the game's brightest stars, presented by Oakley. Who has a chance to shine this week? Look at these glasses.
They're pretty cool, right?
Awesome.
We love this
Kyle,
segment.
kick it off.
This is a perfect segue. My guy is the kind of guy who wants to be a brightest star and wear sunglasses. Let's talk Marquise Hollywood Brown.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a big game this weekend. Now, Nate said something earlier. He would give the advantage to Deshaun Watson over Lamar right now, maybe because Deshaun has a true #1 receiver in Nuke the Bomb. Lamar's got somebody who's coming. He's not there yet, but he's coming. And it's, as a show, it's tough for me to figure out when exactly we fell in love with Hollywood Brown. Was it in college when in Mason Rudolph versus Baker Mayfield 1, Hollywood Brown had 9 catches for 265 yards? Oof. Was it when we first discovered that his Twitter handle is Hollywood Primetime Jet? 3 nicknames in one, leading Nate to elaborate on his nicknames, which were what?
Yeah, I think it's a Marquise Primetime Hollywood, his airness, Refrigerator, Rain Man, Big Unit, Jet Brown.
That's right. They also call him the Say Hey Kid, Penny, and the Round Mound of Touchdown. Was it week 1 for his debut as the professional where he scored about a 300-yard touchdown on his first touch? It could be any of those moments. My personal favorite moments, I don't know if you guys remember this, right after the draft, there was this sensation going around Twitter where it was like, all right, you get 10 NBA threes. Yes. If you make 1, you get $1 billion. But if you miss all 10, you have to go to maximum security prison for a year. Everyone's like, I don't know. Here's Hollywood Brown's answer. Let me show how he'd answer this. This is his Twitter. He says, I'm pulling up from the logo. Give me that thing right now. And that's before he played it down. He wants to move it back, and that is why we love him. Guys, you cannot be a real superhero unless you got a running mate, unless you got a guy who is willing to pull up from the logo. And I think it's perfect that Jerry West has one of the greatest nicknames of all time, The Logo. And I think Marquise Hollywood Primetime Jet is now known as The Logo. Superstar in the way. Cannot wait to watch him this weekend.
All right, I'm going to go with another guy because you like speed, right?
Oh,
Marquise Brown has speed. I'm going with the speedster. And some say he could be the fastest in the league. And no, I'm not talking about Tyreek Hill. I'm talking about his teammate, McCole Hardman, who is a beast. And I remember Shrake putting them on our radar saying, listen, I don't know what's going to happen with Tyreek. And if he's not there, this guy is going to fill in just fine. And he did. He made a big play last week, 63-yard TD in the fourth quarter up against the Titans, I'm showing you right now. He reached 21 miles an hour. So, yeah, my dude is pretty much speeding in the school zone every time he takes off. And his 40 time is a 4.33. That is the third fastest amongst wide receivers. But you know what's special about that? Some fast guys are fast on track. Other guys are fast on the field. So he's about a 4.33 when he puts the pads on.
That's not that entry-level 4.3.
No.
4.38. That's quality. That's first place.
That's almost 4.29.
That's what I'm saying.
When you start tap dancing in the low 4.3.
I run a 4.3. I run a 4.33.
Exactly. So for me, I'm looking for him to shine bright. There's something about the special connection that he has with Pat Mahomes, because what defenses are doing now, they're so focused on stopping Tyreek Hill. And they know that Travis Kelce is a monster. So what happens? A young wide receiver named McCole Hardman goes up against second-tier and third-tier DBs who don't run 4.3s, which means he's usually running past them.
I like those shades. I've seen those. These are new, these ones. Oakley hooked me up with the Patriots Oakley glasses because I want to talk about the Pats coming off a bye, specifically the guy who needs to shine bright, and his name's Tom Brady. And yes, you've heard of him. And yes, he has to go to Philadelphia to face the team that deprived him of having 7 rings and not 6. And here's the deal. People are doubting them again. There's nothing like a motivated Tom Brady. And of course, he's always motivated. He's self-motivated. But I don't know, following that loss to the Ravens, having to listen to all the talk radio and all the talk about Lamar Jackson and all of that, we haven't seen him have a monster game since week 1 when they took down the Steelers. It was a great game. Since then, it really hasn't been that. But he's got Sanu now. N'Keal Harry getting healthy, trying to get him back on the field. The Eagles secondary is healthier and improved, but he's got to do work and start reminding people that he's the GOAT.
Yeah, and he's got a certain score to settle with those guys, does he not?
He does. When we drop the pass and everything,
There's some blowhards on TV.
Really?
There's some guys who come on and do sports TV and just talk out of their behind, sound bites, and they question people's toughness, and then they say, oh, he can't get it done, he's not clutch, all this stuff. This segment, I want to dedicate to one of the biggest blowhards on the entire NFL network, a guy that I can't stand listening to. Let's just see the sound.
I hate these dudes.
When the rap on Kirk Cousins his entire career is he cannot win in primetime, right? He's lost his 4 games on Thursday Night Football. He's also lost some terrible games at the end of the season in recent years. I think Cousins just has to play his game. You cannot lose this game.
You cannot lose this game.
This has to be the Kirk Cousins we get in those big spots. Go play well Thursday night, stepping up in a big spot. It's going to take the victory when it's mattered most in week 16 and 17 before the judgment is out on a national level about Kirk Cousins, because these are not the big games. Kirk Cousins won a game on a Sunday night, okay? Shut up, guy. Like, is that enough for you? Like, he wins, he goes into Dallas. Like, that guy's an idiot. Just shut up.
He's obviously trolling just for the follows and clicks and retweets. You want the tweets, and it's an
easy low-hanging fruit. If you watch the games, Kirk Cousins is not the reason why they're losing these games. It's been great in prime time. So, to that idiot I was just watching, I am a huge Cousins supporter. But Kirk, I'm serious, dude. If you lose to Brandon Allen and the Broncos at home after what we did last week in Dallas, I might have to take this jersey back.
Oh!
Go get it done. You're my brightest star.
Still got the tag on there? You gonna take the jersey back?
I can return this very quickly. That's it.
The jersey's good for your drip, though, Shrags.
Those are our brightest stars. I wonder if you'll be voting Kirk Cousins into the Pro Bowl this year.
Damn well
You
better.
should. I feel like that'd be great. You out there can vote your favorite players onto the 2020 Pro Bowl roster. You can make your pick. Enter to win exclusive prizes at NFL.com/Pro Bowl vote. The 2020 Pro Bowl presented by Verizon is Sunday, January 26th at 3 p.m. More football talk, guys. Full slate of action. It's already underway. We've got highlights from last night. And can Zeke get back to elite form against the Lions on Sunday? I'll be at the tailgates for this one. Freezing my booty off. Bring me coffee and soup and all the things.
Hey! Uh-oh.
Active.
Selfie mode. Hey, now.
Football fan.
Duck
Jerry
lips.
Connell.
Hey, girl. Vacation. Do it for the gram.
The flu sucks everything out of you. The fever, aches, and chills can flatten you fast. Prescription Xofluza can help you feel better in just over 2 days. Over-the-counter medicines just treat symptoms. Xofluza is different. It attacks the flu virus at its source with just 1 dose. But your window for prescription treatment is short. Ask your doctor about Xofluza within 48 hours of your first symptoms. Xofluza treats the flu in people 12 years and older whose flu symptoms started within the last 2 days. Before taking Xofluza, tell your doctor if you're pregnant, nursing, and all the medications you take. Do not take Xofluza if you are allergic to baloxavir marboxyl or any of the ingredients in Xofluza. If you develop an allergic reaction, call your doctor immediately. The most common side effects are bronchitis, nausea, diarrhea, sinusitis, and headache. The sooner your doctor prescribes Xofluza, the sooner you can start feeling like you, not the flu. Xofluza, 1 dose can do it. Visit Xofluza.com to download a coupon.
Remember that degree you got in taxation? Of course you don't, because you didn't. Your job isn't understanding tax code. It's understanding why that will get him a body like that. Move! That. Your job isn't doing hard work. Here. It's making her do hard work. And getting paid for it.
Snap and sort your expenses to save over $4,600 at tax time.
Jody, it's time to get yours.
QuickBooks, backing you.
It's all in my notebook, but okay. Over and over again. Ready? Something a little less flaky.
So you think this chip is nothing to worry about? Well, at Safelite, we know sooner or later, every chip will crack. These friends were on a trip when their windshield got chipped. So they scheduled at Safelite.com. They didn't have to change their plans or worry about a thing. I'll see you in a little bit. And I fixed it right away with a strong repair they can trust. Plus, with most insurance, a Safelite repair is no cost to you. Really? Being there whenever you need us, that's another Safelite advantage.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Sunday at 9, Drew Brees shares a special message in his salute to service.
Us football players are forever indebted to you and your fellow servicemen and women.
Plus, we sit down with Zach and Julie Ertz. NFL Gameday Moning, Sunday at 9, live on NFL Network.
November 23rd, Conference USA heats up on NFL Network as Rice plays host to in-state rival North Texas for a Western Division clash.
End zone touchdown, Rice!
Saturday, November 23rd at 3:30, live on NFL Network.
This guy's the best. We are now joined by a very talented actor. You've seen him for decades. Stand By Me, Cush, and Jerry Maguire, and as Harley Carter on the hit show Carter. The second season premieres WGN America on January 20th. He's also a massive football fan. Guys, please welcome back to Good Morning Football, Jerry O'Connell. Yeah. What's up, Jerry?
Yes.
How you feeling?
What an honor to be finally back at the Formica table.
IKEA.
Yeah, so the Swedish meatballs come with this table. It's beautiful. Jerry, you grew up in New York. You grew up Jet fan, so you know a little bit about the roller coaster over the past few decades.
It's actually, no. It's not a roller coaster. Roller coasters mean that there's like ups and stuff. It's just like, it's one of those things at Six Flags where it's just like, it's
sure,
like
and then your stomach drops. All right, so how about this season? Is it particularly tough this year?
I have, I mean, this is why you should all start a fantasy league with me. I have a habit of only drafting Jets.
Oh, no.
And Browns.
You're that guy.
Oh, no. And I'm not from Cleveland. I've never been to Cleveland. But the last time I won, Derek Anderson was lighting Braylon Edwards up, and I had them as a duo, and I easily won that season. So now I only draft Browns and Jets.
Yeah.
And it's been really tough. I think Le'Veon has, while we respect everyone as players and their skill sets are amazing, has disappointed me a little bit this season. And I'm not sure it's his fault. It's been really tough. I mean, I drafted Robbie Anderson. No offense to Robbie Anderson, but
he's a Jet, though.
You're selling yourself short as a fantasy connoisseur.
Okay.
Because you were with us 3 seasons ago, December of 2016. You sat in that very chair and you gave us a fantasy sleeper, only you did it for 2019. Take a look.
There's a guy named Waller who's a tight end for the Ravens who
I just love, ever since back in the Dustin Pitta days, I love picking up tight ends over the Raiders. At the Ravens.
Yeah.
There he is right there. And it's just, during these bye weeks, like you have a lot of holes, and if you got a flex player in there, just throw them in. Also, tight ends are so fun because they get in the end zone. Yes.
Jerry, wait, before we get to that, Jerry, are you a cartoon character? Was that the same outfit?
That is the same exact outfit. I only have one shirt and I have one tie, and that's the only thing I feel comfortable with. Guys, when am I on the payroll? Let's go.
You brought up Darren Waller, and we were all kind of like, what?
Who the hell, Darren
And now
Waller?
he's a breakout player. He's the top 5 tight end in the league.
Right.
I mean, do you have another sleeper for us?
I did a few weeks ago. I just, as I said earlier, I love tight ends, mostly because I only draft Jets and Browns. So I'm trying to come up from the bottom of the pack in my fantasy leagues, and I'm desperately taking anyone on. I picked up Hollister a couple weeks ago.
Okay. Yeah.
Seahawks?
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, tight ends, I just love touchdowns, I mean,
Red zone.
I love that red zone channel.
Yeah.
And I love touchdowns, and I love tight ends. I really do. I have a little bit, I'm trying to sell my tight. I'm at that point in my league where I'm sort of really in the middle of the pack, and I need a Michael Thomas. I need a Lamar to win.
Good luck.
And, how do I get them? I try and take the people who I want to trade away. I put them in my starting lineup.
Yeah, look at this guy.
It's so shiny. This is a beautiful player. You take him, please.
Jerry had 2 points. It's okay. It's cool.
Very low miles. Amazing. Go.
So, Jerry, you, as we all know, you have an extensive resume. This dates back to the 80s. Now, aside from the big name projects, we love the Jerry Maguires, the sliders, Stand By Me's. What is your sleeper project, though? We're talking sleeper players.
Great call.
What is a sleeper project that maybe we should be hip to?
I know here on the esteemed Formica table here that a lot of your coworkers have also been in commercials, Old Spice commercials in particular.
Yeah.
I, too, have dabbled in commercial fare. I was in the early 1990s. I mean, we're going... Thurman Thomas was the number one pick.
I can't wait.
I was in a Clearasil commercial.
I
played the bully, where I was like, "Yeah, look at you." I think I called. What was the line? I think I called someone pizza face. Hey, man. Oh no, I order a pizza and I bring it to a table with my friends, and I look at someone before they use Clearasil, and I say, "Remind you of anybody's face?" Very insensitive.
Now you never work again. That's it. It's over.
Oh my gosh, I found it.
That's unbelievable. Clearasil.
We can't clear it.
Clearasil Pizza Face, 1991.
That's me, yeah.
Such a bully.
Yeah, that was me. That was a bully, but I'm a changed person now. I realize the world is
Call it Clearasil because the check clears. That's it. Check clears up like the complexion, Jerry.
Jerry, you said you were a Jet fan when we came on here, but you were actually in the building for one of the greatest Giants moments of all time. Take us to the David Tyree catch and where you were that day.
Well, I was fortunate enough to, because I'm begging for a job here on this network, I was fortunate enough to be a part of that 100 greatest plays, and I went with my dad and my brother. We were not seated together because tickets do get expensive at Super Bowls, so we were like this, but we saw that David Tyree catch, which I believe was number 3 on the 100 greatest moments. And it was crazy. I mean, just because the Giants won, but also because the opposing team actually did not win a Super Bowl in the last few seconds. It was really exciting.
And didn't finish undefeated and had history and all that.
18-1, right?
18-1. And speaking of history, it's NFL 100. We're celebrating all the greats. Johnny Unitas, Joe Namath, Frank Cushman. Let's get into Cush. His career was always shrouded in mystery.
Sure.
And then there was a Football Life special just a couple of years ago. For those who aren't familiar, what happened to the great Frank Cushman in the league?
So, for some of the kids who do watch the YouTube and the TikTok who may not know who Frank Cushman was. Frank Cushman was the quarterback from Jerry Maguire who would either surf or ski.
Can't miss.
Thank you for the quote. You're right. And he famously did not sign with Jerry Maguire. But we did what are the
Football Life?
A Football Life, thank you, where Cushman had to retire early because of a chronic athlete's foot.
Oh,
wow. Athlete's foot.
We're talking
athlete's
foot.
I'm laughing. It's a very sensitive topic.
But He did open a center.
Oh, there it is, right there, yeah.
He did open a center to cure athlete's foot.
Is that true?
Yeah.
And
still
Bob
to this
Sugar
day-
couldn't help him get out of that somehow?
Bob Sugar, who was the other agent that he ended up signing with, I believe I think they parted ways.
Oh,
and,
no.
Cushman wanted to re-sign with Jerry Maguire, but
too late.
Yeah, it's too late.
Ship has sailed.
Let's come to 2019 now and talk about Carter. Amazing review, second season.
Yeah.
You play let me get this straight. It's a TV detective. You have a meltdown. You go back home and actually solve real crime.
Let me explain.
This is awesome.
Let me explain what Carter is. Carter is, it would be like if I was like David Caruso. from CSI Miami.
Love it.
Okay.
And I moved to, I'm trying to think of a really small town.
Piedmont, North Dakota.
Piedmont, North Dakota.
Yeah.
And because I was David Caruso in CSI Miami, I thought I could tell the police. It's a really funny show. WGN America. We have a start date January 20th, and it's really funny.
Nice.
And sadly, unless I get that Lamar or I get that Michael Thomas, I don't think I'll be carrying my fantasy trophy this season.
Never give up hope.
Any tips? How do I get that trade?
Here's a first tip. Maybe not draft Jets and Browns.
Fralin must have killed you because he was a Jet and a Brown. And that's like your perfect guy.
Didn't quite perform as a Jet like he did as a
We'll
Brown.
fix this, Jerry. Carter, the concept of
hoarding
Carter
tight
sounds
ends.
so funny, man.
Yeah.
So season 2 of Carter premieres January 20th, like you said, WGN America. Guys, Jerry O'Connell.
What do you guys do? Can I keep this mug?
Yes.
Am I allowed to have
Just
this?
run. Just take it. Get out of here.
Forgiveness, not
Thank you.
permission. Okay, we'll be back. We've got the secret to Buffalo's success, right?
Yes,
Know when
that's
you're at
right.
the breakfast table?
Darren Waller.
Okay, we'll tell you what to believe in. Oh, and I've got some fantasy Top 5 Friday.
I've been playing that Beasley a lot as well.
Yeah, Beasley's good. And we've got all the highlights from Browns Steelers last night and, of course, the wild ending. We will talk.
Wow. So Jerry, did you see last night's fight?
Actually, I'm going to
This Thursday night, Colts are coming to H-Town. You're in for a showdown. You know who breaks wild Colts? Texans. With the spin, unbelievable. What a beautiful catch. What a play.
You give me fever when you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight. Fever in the morning.
Applebee's new sizzling entrees, now starting at $9.99.
The flock blindly falls into formation. Flying south for the winter, they never stray from their predetermined path. But this season, a more thrilling journey is calling. Defy the laws of human nature at the Season of Audi sales event.
Take the floor somewhere unexpected. Everything you need is at your fingertips and at the Home Depot. On-trend styles with innovations to make it pet-proof. Make it life-proof. Make it waterproof. Make it beautiful. And the Home Depot has everything you need to make it yours. Today is the day for doing with exclusive life-proof vinyl plank flooring starting at $3.19 a square foot. Only at the Home Depot.
It takes a lot to raise a family. A good job, a good salary, and some patience. A lot of people my age are drowning in college debt. But I chose a different path. I'm a member of the IBEW, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. I work hard for my job, and I love what I do. I had a lot of choices for my future, but I made the best choice for my family. IBEW, the right choice.
Freezing cold. Blazing heat. Rain-X premium silicone wiper blades are engineered to withstand the most extreme conditions. They last 2 times longer than traditional wipers. If Rain-X premium silicone wipers survive these conditions, clearly they'll last in yours. Rain-X, outsmart the elements. Find Rain-X silicone wipers at these retailers.
Pet care ain't easy. 12 hours, 20 dogs? Where's your belly rubs? After a day of chasing dogs, you shouldn't have to chase down payments.
Send invoices and accept payments to get paid twice as fast.
It's time to get yours.
QuickBooks, backing you.
Looking for an edge in your fantasy league? It's time to make it happen. Our experts have all the insights and analysis you need to dominate the competition. He's spreading the ball everywhere. He is the man. NFL Fantasy Live, tonight at 6, only on NFL Network.
Welcome back to Good Morning Football. We are here with your highlights from last night. Well, there's some highlights and then there's some lowlights. Baker Mayfield focused in this game. Check him out right here. He feels the pressure, escapes the pressure. And who is he looking for in the back of the end zone? Princeton standout, Steven Carlson. Ooh, this is nasty. How about that? First career catch, and he lost in the back of the end zone. Baker Mayfield feeling it. This is at the end of the game, after the game is pretty much put away. Myles Garrett trying to put Mason Rudolph away, and Mason Rudolph wasn't feeling it. After a little back and forth, the helmet gets snatched off, and inexplicably, Myles Garrett swings his helmet at Mason Rudolph and hits him in the head. And you'll see it again. He snatches off Mason Rudolph's head. It's just an inexcusable act. We don't like seeing this in the game. There's no room in it in the game. And Myles Garrett was tossed out along with Pouncey and Ogunjobi. Mason Rudolph after the game says he's just fine. He responded by saying it was cowardly, and we'll see what the league does with the suspension, which we're all expecting will happen. Here's J.J. Watt. Here's his thoughts on what happened. Everybody pretty much shocked. We don't like seeing that in the game. That is insanity. Wow. And we all can agree with J.J. Watt as he sits at home and recovers.
And we'll hear from Freddie Kitchens. We did after the game, of course. We heard from both quarterbacks involved. We'll bring you all of that as this unfolds today. Of course, discipline, I'm sure, forthcoming. We'll get the update on consequences following this. And, you know, will the incident follow Myles Garrett for the rest of his career is probably the question. It's one of those tattoos that you always talk about, no matter what he does. Let's say he does do tries to get in front of it. Will this stick with him like it stick to a lot of other players in these situations?
I mean, for the next 48 hours, he's going to be villainized. He's going to be taken to task, and a lot of that's justified. What I saw last night was unprecedented, and I haven't seen that in decades, and it was horrifying. And if I'm a father or a mother of a youth, I would say keep your eyes away from that. Don't watch that. And yet, how do you use that moment and make it a positive? What you can do is you can get out in front of it. And here we are already sitting an hour and a half into our show. We haven't heard from Myles Garrett. I would have been on a plane to New York City, and I would have been asking for forgiveness from Roger Goodell. And then I would have gotten in front of it and maybe come on our show or some other shows. So that's not me. And I would do everything in my power to show that violence is not a part of who I am. He's got a chance to really become the face of redemption already, even just a day after what happened last night.
All the player tweets we've seen, that J.J. Watt one speaks to me the most, because it's a guy who plays the same position, who runs extremely intense, who attacks quarterbacks for a living, and he's never lost his composure like that. It's a complete bizarre anomaly of an incident from Myles Garrett, and hearing from J.J., I think it really makes it resonate.
More on this ahead. I mean, you played on a team that had a similarly fiery individual in Sue. I want to sort of talk about how this team moves on, how the Browns in that locker room can move on from this in a little bit. But let's say hi to Will Selva. He's in the newsroom in Culver.
Will. What's going on there, guys? Just know that my word is stronger than oak, always, when I'm doing this. Always.
Bloody beer, Will.
Oh, yes, there we go. All right, well, Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford saw his consecutive start streak come to an end at 139 games last week after missing the game against the Bears with a back injury. And it looks like a new streak may have to wait another week, as he has not practiced this week either. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport reporting Stafford is dealing with tiny fractures in his back. If Stafford doesn't play, Jeff Driscoll will get the start against the Cowboys. Now, as part of their Salute to Service week, the Falcons hosted a flag football tournament between multiple military installations. Falcons players serving as team captains and coordinators. Love that all the way around. Meanwhile, running back Jay Ajayi possibly returning to the city of brotherly love. According to Ian, Ajayi visiting with the Eagles today. He played for Philly in 2017 and 2018, but has been a free agent since March. Ajayi suffering a torn ACL in last October's Eagles-Vikings game. Redskins running back Darius Geis set to return Sunday against the Jets after missing the past 8 weeks with a knee injury. Head coach Bill Callahan says Geis will see quite a bit of action and that they have a good rotational system set up between Geis and Adrian Peterson. Now, since Callahan took over for Jay Gruden in Week 6, the Redskins have run the ball in nearly 52% of their plays compared to just 31% under Gruden. And obviously, we're big fans of Geis as well. Still to come here on Good Morning Football. Should your fantasy starter for this week be down in Carolina? You plays next. Coming up on Good Morning Football.
Must be hot out there, huh?
Not especially.
What you drinking?
Gasoline.
Right, but I mean, what's in the cup?
Gasoline.